Ayo, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Alvin MB10, aka AMR10, and what I got for you today is some more NBA 2K23 Next Gen. Now, more specifically, what I happen to have for you today happens to be the best Lamelo Ball build with an NBA 2K23 Next Gen, which happens to be a 6'7" point guard build that comes with hella speed, the great playmaking ability, finishing, shooting, and obviously can play some defense. Now, as most of you know, NBA 2K23 Next Gen is filled with a lot of 6'8", 6'9" forwards, and you also occasionally see some really tall guard builds. I know, because I personally run one. And this right here happens to be one of the really tall guard builds that you want to consider to run when it comes to this game. Now, as most of you know, Lamelo Ball is the starting point guard, right-handed jersey number 2 for the Charlotte Hornets. Irony, Miles Bridges is no longer a member of that team. That always amazes me. Actually, speaking of which, how have y'all been doing? Because obviously it's been a while since we've spoken properly, and you know, I just got to know, how have you been doing? But yeah, whilst you answer that question in the comments down below, I'm gonna quickly finish making this build. Height-wise, as I did say, we are going 6'7". Lamelo does weigh 80 pounds, I believe. So we went with 180 pounds, and then when it came to the wingspan, went 6'10", because for some reason they kept saying his wingspan was measured between 6'7" and 6'10". I just decided to go 6'10" because it is what it is. And then body shape-wise, you could go with something along the lines of compact or slight for Lamelo, just because he's not that big. But as you know me, we always go with defined. Now, before we get into the skill breakdown for this build, I do got to say shout out to all of you for all the support you have been showing to the channel, because it is really appreciated. For those of you who don't know, we are currently at 1,460 subscribers, meaning we are sitting less than 40 subscribers away from hitting that 1.5K mark. So I do got to say, if you like today's video and you want to see more content like this, do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button. We are trying to get at least 40 likes on this video because it does help with the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to drop a comment telling me whether you like or hate the build, or what you hate about the build, because I do enjoy interacting with you guys down below in the comments. Don't forget to share the video because it does help with bringing more people to the channel and growing the channel. And also, if you're new to the channel and you ain't done so yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as well as turning post notifications on. Now, first things first, I got to get the physicals out the way. When it came to speed, I decided to go with an 80 when it came to the speed, and an 84 when it came to the excel, mainly because in this game there's not a lot of really fast people, and with most people running 6'8", 6'9", their speed's around an 80, so having an 80 speed with an 84 excel seems hella beneficial. Plus, with the 84 excel, you benefit from the fact that as soon as you start to pick up speed, you pick up a lot quicker than people would actually suspect. And then when it came to the stamina, as per usual with guard builds, I went kind of high with an, I say kind of high, I went with a decent amount at an 87, just because I was trying to, you know, use this build quite a bit, so you need at least a decent amount of stamina on it. And then vertical wise, went with a 61, and strength wise went with a 42. Now, the vertical and strength is mainly played around the fact of how I set up the finishing on this build, as well as some of the defense. So let's get straight into the finishing first. So when it came to the driving dunk, I decided to go with an 81. My key thing here was I was trying to get that gold aerial wizard. Now, obviously with this build, you're not exactly going to be the biggest lob threat like a Zion Williamson build, but just in case you do find yourself in a situation where you roll to the basket and look for a lob, that does help. And then when it came to the driving layup, I decided to go with an 84, because for any of you who watched Lamelo Ball's gameplay, you know this boy is nice when it comes to finishing at the cup with either hand whilst driving to the hole. And then obviously close shot wise went with an 86. 85. The thinking behind this was I was trying to get at least gold fast twitch on this build, because you will find yourself under the glass with the rebounding this build comes with, so you need the ability to finish whilst down there. And an 85 drive close shot as well as an 84 driving layup help you with that, plus the benefit of having gold fearless finisher, masher, fast twitch, aerial wizard, or acrobat, as well as Hall of Fame giant slayer and pro touch with silver limitless takeoff and slithery finisher can really help you make a great combination that can really work this out. Now, getting into the shooting, I decided to do something I usually don't do, which is go with a really high three-pointer in comparison to mid-range. So in this case, I went with an 83 when it came to the 3-ball. Key thing was I was aiming to get silver Agent 3 as well as Hall of Fame Shot Space Creator, which, yeah, I've been running Space Creator at like a silver or gold, and I'm gonna tell you the truth, this badge is nice. Running Claymore is one of those things that you do want to consider doing, as well as guard up. And then when it came to the mid-range jump shot, I decided to go with a 77. I know it is a bit strange for me, because usually I try and get that mini magician and guard up as high as I possibly can. But this go around, we decided to go with a 77 when it came to the mid-range jump shot, and an 83 when it came to the 3-ball, and then when it came to the free throw, decided to go with an 80. It still kills me how having a high free throw doesn't increase your badge count. I personally believe it should, just because then it'll give more incentive behind people putting it up, because running in the wreck with teammates who can't shoot free throws, terrible feeling. But as you see, that does allow us to finish with 20 shooting badges. As you know with me, I would do something along the lines of coring Agent 3 or blinders, slapping on Limitless Range, and then spreading it out through these tier 1 and tier 2 badges however pleases your playstyle best. Now, I'm gonna get into let's get into the playmaking, because the defense on this build is quite outstanding, which is why I really wanted to jump into it. But playmaking wise, first things first, ball handle went with an 89. As you know, you need an 89 ball handle this year an 89 ball handle or a 90 post control and 88 speed with ball in order to be able to get Hall of Fame quick first step, and that's what we were aiming for. Plus, a key reason for doing this is Lamelo happens to be one of the best playmakers in the league right now, so you gotta put some respect on his name when it comes to that. And just as I said, he's one of the best playmakers, we also decided to go with an 88 when it came to the pass accuracy, because outside of Lamelo Ball, the Ball brothers are great playmakers. They have great vision on the court. They have a great ability to move the ball around the court. So you always got to respect that pass accuracy. Ball handle is the one place where with someone like Lonzo, you might go lower than Lamelo. That's my personal thinking. But hey, you always got to respect the pass accuracy. Now, speed with ball, decided to go with an 82. Key thinking here was I wanted to be a little bit fast. I wanted it to be somewhere between speed and excel, but I didn't need it uber high, because as I said, there's very few people this year who are running really high speed builds, and if they are, they tend to be short guards, in which case if you're taking them to the hole, if you slap on a little bit of bully, which you can't get on this build, but either way, with the little bit of strength you do have, you can push them off and easily get to the hole. Now, when it comes to defense, this is where the build stands out a little bit in its ability to really stand up and play out the floor. We went with a 45 when it came to the interior defense. When it came to the perimeter, decided to go to 79. As you know, I always try and get at least silver challenger, just because I do believe that badge is kind of clutch, especially when contesting jump shots. When it came to the steal, decided to go to 71, which is a bit low. Usually I would try and go with a 78 to get that silver interceptor, but we couldn't afford it with this build. And then when it came to the block, decided to go with a 60, as well as going with a 63 when it came to the offensive rebound, and a 70 when it came to the defensive. Now, obviously, thinking about it, that's why it's 61. It's 61 because of the 81 driving dunk. But the reason behind me going with a 70 defensive offense and / offensive rebound split, as well as a 60 block, is 60 block enables us to get silver chase star notice. I do know you get that at a 59, but I wanted to go with a 60 block because it does allow us to get 15 badge points. 63 on the offensive rebound, whereas 70 on the defensive was mainly because I wanted to put more emphasis on the defensive glass, because again, you are a guard, you'll rarely find yourself underneath the offensive glass unless you're driving to the hole, in which case, if there's a big, they usually kick it out to your big, or if it's a small guard, you can go up, and with the 63 offensive rebound, as well as a 6'7" height with a 6'10" wingspan, you will be able to grab those boards. Now, in total, we do finish with 16 finishing, 20 shooting, 25 playmaking, and 15 defensive badge points, giving us a grand total of 40, 60, 76, plus the +4 you get from playing through the season, which gives you a grand total of 86 total badge points on this here Lamelo Ball build. Now, before we get into the takeovers, I do gotta say something a little bit strange in comparison to what we usually do, in that usually I have like a few build videos that I try and make, and then I post them over the week. But now I'm gonna try and do something new, whereby if you guys have a specific build you wanna see, do me a favor, seriously, drop that in the comments, because whatever build I see, the one that I feel like most people want to see, that will be the next build I'll try and make for this channel, and then we'll just keep progressing with it that way, because at least that way you guys get to see what you want as soon as you want it. But yeah, when it comes to takeovers, the very first one you got to go with, again, Lamelo Ball, one of the best playmakers in the league right now. So I'd go with something along the lines of, I'd say team ratings boost, because I do feel like ratings play a big part in this game, because the higher your 3-ball, the more easy it is to knock down these jumpers. And then for the secondary take, I'd probably go with something along the lines of easy blow-bys, because if you've seen him one-on-one, he really gets by people like no man's business. Now, as you can suspect, in the shades of, we are likely to get Lamelo, Lonzo, and I can't remember, Tyrese Halliburton. Lamelo being in front, which makes a whole lot of sense. Tyrese being in between, and then Lonzo being on the back end makes a whole lot of sense to it, because Tyrese is a little bit of a mixture between the two, in the fact of he can play defense not as great as Lonzo, but better than Lamelo. But then at the same time, he's not as much of an offensive threat as Lamelo is, but he is more of an offensive threat than Lonzo. But yeah, as you can see, what we're having to make today is an inside-out playmaker. Hopefully this is a build you guys might consider running. If you do me a favor, go and let me know about that down below in the comments, because I would love to see some gameplay with it, unless you guys want to see me do it, in which case this video really has to do really well, because as you know, maxing out a build this year costs like $100, which is insane. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed today's video, which if you did, don't forget to do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're new to the channel and you ain't done so yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as well as turning post notifications on. And biggest thing of all, if you have a build you want to see me make, do me a favor, go and drop that down below in the comments, because as I said, I will be making them on request now, because I feel like that's the best way I can do it for you guys. And don't forget to share the video, because it does help with spreading the video out there. Plus, it helps in us possibly getting some funding to make some of these builds. But yeah, it's been your boy Alvin MB10, aka AMR10. I'll catch you in a bit. Deuces.